Michael Owen apparently shot William Green 6 times while William Green was handcuffed in the front seat of Michael Owen's police cruiser. This is, to me, obviously the worst case of police shooting probably in the past decade or two. I'm not that studied on it, so just from what I've observed, yeah, this is definitely, if true, the absolute worst case. I'm wondering if Officer Owen is going to get a life sentence for this. I would say that would probably be a good thing. Not necessarily for Owen. I don't think it's going to help him that much to be in the prison for life. I think he'd probably be able to learn about himself and what he did in 20 years. But possibly, if he got a life sentence, it would be good for the nation. Because I think people think that police officers never get served justice the way they deserve if they do crimes, if they commit crimes. And I'm all for justice for criminals and victims. So we will see. Now, the signs are that Mr. Owen will be convicted of the crime. The city of that, the city where it occurred has already paid out a settlement of over $20 million to Mr. Green's family. That, of course, doesn't even come close to making up for what has happened to Mr. Green, who was apparently, he crashed into some cars, and Mr. Owen found him. The police found him asleep in his car, or unconscious, perhaps. Anyhow, how that led to Mr. Owen shooting him 6 times and missing, he actually shot 7 times and missed once in his police cruiser while Mr. Green was handcuffed. Who knows? Obviously, if this is true, Mr. Owen probably has some severe mental health issues, which should have been caught by the police department months or years previous to this occurrance. He had apparently had other incidents in which he had committed perhaps unwarranted acts of violence against people, and was apparently needing, wanting, and possibly had been assigned to go through mental health counseling, which he had not yet started when he apparently killed Mr. Green. So this is another signal that police reform is of utmost importance. We need to get police into the mental health counseling offices as soon as possible, for the good of the public or the good of themselves, or both. I mean, if you rightfully or justifiably or unjustifiably shoot another person, whether you kill them or not, you need counseling probably. You might be dealing with PTSD. You might be dealing with guilt or shame of what you did. You might be dealing with questions about what you did. You might be dealing with the stress of an ongoing investigation. These are all reasons for mental health counseling. So this costs money. This is not paid for. This is absolutely forbidden, prohibited if you have police defunding. You just can't pay for counseling for police officers. You can't pay for new officers to replace bad old officers, because you don't have police officers going through academy like in Austin, Texas, where the police academy has been canceled for at least a couple of years. So you have bad cops replaced by nobody, and you have good cops replaced by nobody. You have emergency personnel replaced by nobody. They're basically they're using attrition to lower the budget by $150 million. And by the way, they're the only Austin is the only city left that has bought into police defunding. All the other cities who had committed to police defunding have already retracted, and so is Joe Biden, who has basically said this is a stupid idea. So why is Austin continuing to go on with police defunding? It's of course just lack of understanding. Maybe we call it stupidity, and of course political expedience. Unfortunate for those people of Austin who have already saw an increase of over 60% in their crime rate, which is astounding. It's Austin used to be a very sort of crime-free big city. Now it's one of the top big cities when it comes to crime. This in part also has to do with the Freedom City status that Austin had sought years ago and created for itself, which many misdemeanors are now considered not prosecutable. You're just not going to prosecute or arrest anyone when they commit certain misdemeanors. Of course, we know that when people commit misdemeanors freely, they learn to maybe commit felonies freely or not so freely, and then maybe they discover that when they commit a felony that there's consequences, or maybe not, because we have police defunding and in many cities, and especially Austin, and they aren't confronted with their crime. So, well, this leads us back to Mr. Michael Owen, the police officer who may or may not get the life sentence. We will see. The police defunding movement has already cost probably hundreds of lives. Sadly, it sprung out of an important movement to to reform the police. Now we have to sadly, commit all sorts of resources to refund the police. And this is going to take years probably in some places. A place like Chicago, which should have been having, hundreds of millions of dollars more committed to police, has had their budget, stagnant or slashed, and it's cost dozens of lives. It's terribly sad. But this is where we are in America. Good luck.